Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I kind of want to talk about some more CFS related things. I'm here sitting on my bed just like the last CFS video I made. I just kind of like this setup a little better. It's just chill and relaxed and yeah, it's comfortable. Before we get into today's video, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below and give this video a big thumbs up. We reached 500, actually over 500 subscribers recently, so thank you guys so much for subscribing and being a part of my little YouTube channel. I appreciate it so much. It really means so much to me. I love you guys so much, and yeah, if you guys are new, be sure to hit the subscribe button because I'm going to be doing a giveaway pretty soon. And if you guys would like to hear more about CFS and what I'm going to talk about, then just keep watching. Okay, so I'm going to kind of try to make this as short as possible because sometimes when I get on the subject of my health, I can ramble on and on because I'm so frustrated with it. Basically, I want to talk about how to deal with living with a chronic illness while also having anxiety. And I personally have generalized anxiety disorder. I was diagnosed with it at the age of 17. And I have been dealing with it probably since I was 14. So I know what anxiety is. I know how scary panic attacks can be, and I know what it's like having generalized anxiety disorder and seeing one little thing or hearing one little thing and it just triggers all of that worry inside of you. So the thing is, when you have a chronic illness, sometimes you either already have anxiety disorder or it can be secondary to your chronic illness. So with chronic fatigue syndrome, anxiety and depression can be one of the symptoms. Not everyone experiences it. Sometimes people have the depression and anxiety just because of the situation they're going through. And then sometimes other people have the anxiety and depression because it is an actual symptom of CFS. And this is also the same with a lot of other chronic illnesses. So there's a few things I like to do to help manage my anxiety disorder while going through a chronic illness, because my anxiety can be intensified by like 10, considering I already had generalized anxiety disorder before chronic fatigue syndrome. And when I got diagnosed with CFS and I've been going through all this illness and sickness, it just kind of intensified everything. So one thing I will say, and I have talked about this before on my channel, I am on a very low dose antidepressant and that has helped me tremendously. The downside is that it has exacerbated a few of my symptoms with CFS, but at the same time it's almost better because when you have extreme anxiety and extreme stress, it can kind of throw off your nervous system and throw you into a crash. So with that being said, there are a lot of things that I do to help manage that. And one of them is, of course, essential oils. And I've talked about essential oils so many times on this channel, and I will link the playlist up above so you guys can check that out if you want. Of course, essential oils like lavender or cedarwood, just anything relaxing has really helped me. And I apply that to my body at night when I go to sleep. I diffuse it in my diffuser, I throw it in the bathtub. I do anything I can to just mellow out my nervous system and to calm it. Another thing that is really important with getting a hold of those nerves and those anxious feelings, especially while going through a chronic illness, is meditation. I am telling you, meditation has been such a saving grace to me because I don't know, without it, I feel like I wouldn't have healed as much as I have in the last almost 4 years. Basically, I never really understood meditation until I started looking more into it because the program I am in for CFS recovery recommends meditation as part of the recovery. And I'm not saying any of these things are going to cure any diseases or cure your anxiety or chronic illness or anything. They're just things to kind of help you along as you're going through this. So when I meditate, I've realized that my nervous system just calms down so much, and whether that be just a couple of minutes of meditation and deep breathing and focusing on your breath, or sometimes I will look up a guided meditation here on YouTube, and that really helps me a lot. I even have an app called Headspace, and that one's really good. They provide really simple guided meditations, and a lot of it's focused on breathing and kind of like switching that mindset to a position of where you feel more calm and you feel that inner peace. So with that being said, meditation is huge, and you know, I'm not saying that it has to be a spiritual meditation or anything like that, but just deep breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Sometimes I can even calm myself down before having a panic attack, and meditation has really helped that, because if I feel the panic attack coming on, and those with you with anxiety disorder know what that feels like, when you feel that panic attack coming on, I realize that if I get ahead of it with meditation and, you know, things like essential oils and other things that I have used, it really just helps me stop the panic attack before it even happens. So some other things I like to do to help calm me down or to keep my mind distracted are kind of like no-brainer type of things. Sometimes if I'm really just having a bad day, especially with my symptoms, and you know, when your symptoms are flared up, your anxiety is naturally going to flare up, because you start getting scared and you start thinking, am I going to go backwards? What's happening? Am I going to go to a crash? Like, when am I going to get back to where I was? You know, your mind just keeps going and going and going. So a lot of the time, and I'm sure so many of you already do this, but a lot of the time I will just find a show on Netflix that I absolutely love, and I will make my room almost just like a Zen environment. I'll throw out my salt lamp and my pretty lights and put on a candle or diffuse some oils, and I'll just like totally zone in to my show on Netflix and kind of go on a binge with the show. And I'm not saying that it's good to just watch TV all day, because that's not good for you, but sometimes if you just need to like tune out from what's going on in your reality and kind of like tune out from the world, just finding a really good show that is like really like intense to you, or something that you could just really like zone into, it just helps a lot. And you know, you can just like eat a healthy snack while you're watching the show. I know this is like totally a no-brainer kind of thing, but it really does help. And same with reading a book if you're able to. I know those with CFS, and I'm not sure how it is with a lot of the other conditions out there. I'm sure it's similar. But I know CFS, like, even reading sometimes can be really difficult. For the longest time, I couldn't even get past reading a couple sentences without my brain fog flaring up. But even if you're trying to just kind of build up with your reading, that really helps, because I know when you get into a good book, it's just another one of those things that you're kind of tuning out your reality in the world just for a while, just to kind of give your mind a break from it focusing so much on you, if that makes any sense. Another thing that has helped me so much throughout the few years is going on a drive. Personally, I am really not able to drive myself very much right now. I've come a long way with it, but I'm still not driving at like a normal person's kind of pace. I can probably drive about 10-15 minutes at the most before I have to like stop and rest, or, you know, just be done with driving for the day. But even when I was at my sickest, and even though it was like really hard, there were so many times my mom or my boyfriend would just take me on a drive just to like kind of have that change of environment and change of scenery, because especially if you are pretty much bedbound and housebound, getting out, even though it's really hard, I understand completely that it can be so hard, but even just having someone driving you around, it can help so much, because it gets your mind off of you and how you're feeling. And even if it's a 10-15 minute drive, you know, you can throw on some music really quietly, or if that's too much for you, you can just sit back and relax and, you know, just enjoy the scenery around you, because I know what it's like being stuck in your room and not being able to do much at all. It's just really hard and very isolating. So it's important to keep your mind stimulated as much as possible, but you also don't want to push and overdo it to the point where you do an activity or do something to help your anxiety, but it's gonna make you feel worse. So you have to kind of find your balance with that, and, you know, make sure that you're not overdoing it, and still kind of like looking after yourself at the same time with your mental health and just keeping your nervous system calm. One thing I love doing, and you guys all know this, is doing my makeup. And I have no idea if this is just like a psychological thing. It probably is, but for some reason just doing my makeup when I can helps me feel so much better. And I'm not even kidding when I tell you that it physically makes me feel better. And I don't know if that's because I don't really look sick when I do my makeup and my hair, and even getting dressed in the daytime. It just really helps for some reason. And sometimes, like, even if I'm not going to go anywhere at all for the day, throwing on a little bit of makeup and at least getting dressed just makes me feel like I am being a little bit productive, and I feel like, I don't know, like I said, I feel like when I look in the mirror, I don't see like a sick person, and it just makes me feel better. Because when I was at my worst, I was so sick that I would be in my pajamas for 4 or 5 days because it was too exhausting to change. I know that's kind of gross, but that's how bad it was. And I think when I got well enough to do my makeup, it made me realize, like, I don't want to go back to that place of being in my pajamas all day, every day for multiple days. And you know, of course, back then, like, I wasn't well enough to put on my makeup, and I was basically bedridden, and I couldn't take care of myself, so, or even invest in myself. So now that I am able to do these things, I don't take it for granted at all anymore like I used to. I remember, like, getting ready for work was like a pain in the butt for me, and I hated it, you know. I mean, I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it. I didn't look forward to it. But now, like, I, like, make a thing out of it. Like, I'll make myself some tea or some coffee, I'll throw on my music, and I'll just sit and do my makeup and just really get into it and enjoy it. Unfortunately, I'm not working or going to school right now because I'm not able to, so I do have the time to just sit for like an hour and just really, like, do like a full face of makeup even if I'm not going anywhere. Like today, all I did was go with my boyfriend on his lunch break. He picked me up and we went to a coffee shop, and I'm gonna be at home the rest of the day. So it's kind of interesting how just doing that little bit, it really does help how I'm feeling, not only physically with CFS, but how I feel mentally with my anxiety and my depression. It makes me feel more alive and more awake, even though I kind of feel like crap anyways. I don't know if I'm making sense, but you know, it's just something that really, really helps. With that being said, I think it's so important to just, you know, invest in yourself and really be aware of how you're feeling. You know, kind of do like a check-in with your body every couple of hours and just say, okay, this is how I'm feeling right now, and I need to breathe through it and accept it and try to find something that will keep my mind occupied and keep my mind off of me. Because I'm telling you, anxiety will wreck you to the core, and I think it's one of the worst things that anyone can go through. And especially if you have a chronic illness with anxiety, it's like double the torture. So with that being said, I hope I made sense. I'm not feeling the greatest today, but I'm trying to be happy and positive and trying to keep a smiling face for you guys. But yeah, I have a lot planned for you guys. Like I said in my last CFS video, I have some videos coming up on my routine that I do for my recovery. I have a wedding to go to next weekend, and you guys, I am so nervous. This is going to be my first wedding in 4 years. The last time I went to a wedding was literally a few months before I initially got sick. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm literally taking kind of a break from all of my recovery routine, including like my yoga and the walks that I do every day and things like that, just so I can really focus on getting enough rest before the wedding, because it's for my cousin and I have family coming into town, and this is going to be a really big step for me. And so if you guys can, keep me in your thoughts or your prayers or send good vibes, whatever you do, because I want to be well enough for it. And my point is that after the wedding next weekend, I will be starting to work on the videos that you guys are requesting. I definitely want to keep vlogging more. If you guys enjoy this kind of video, please leave a thumbs up so I know, and I'll continue making videos like this, because I love talking to you guys and hearing feedback from you guys. And I know that this condition can be so lonely and isolating, and I don't want any of you to feel that way. So just know that you are loved and you guys are in a community of people that care, and it's okay to feel vulnerable. It's okay that you feel scared, but just know that there is hope and that you can recover from this. So I hope you guys are having a great weekend, and if you haven't already, you can also follow me on Instagram. I will leave my Instagram name right here. I mostly post makeup related things on this Instagram, so if you guys are into that, just go ahead and give me a follow if you'd like, and be sure to check out my other videos. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.